Welcome back, everyone, to another great episode of The Couch. We're really glad that you could join us today.
Today's trailers are filled with drama, so if that's what you're into, check these out.
Our first movie we have up today is a movie called Hollywoodland. It stars Ben Affleck, Diane Lane, and Adrien Brody. Brody stars as a private investigator who is looking into the death of TV Superman star George Reeves. Through his investigation, he tries to uncover whether Reeves actually committed suicide or if he was murdered. Let's check it out.
The guy used to play Superman. And he shot himself. What? Someone thinks he didn't. Mr. Reeves, why don't you tell me about him? A charming man.
I'm much too old for you, you know?
Your husband is the general manager of MGM.
Tell me what you want. You can have it.
Where he wound up, it should have been enough. What are these? These marks. What did he do, beat himself up before he shot himself?
Dead detective. What's he got?
Some questions.
Since when do suicides miss twice and start over? That's unusual.
You ever been to a party where a man goes upstairs and blows his head off?
No.
Then how do you know what's unusual?
There's more going on than you realize.
George shot himself. He was shot.
Who did that?
You have anything to tell me? Anything I need to have a story ready for?
This murder, I think it might be true.
What's true or false really doesn't matter. If it hurts the studio, if it stops one person from buying a ticket, I have to fix it.
This is how they work it. It just gets buried.
And a bullet put in Reeves' head. Why?
I'll always take care of my boy.
You could have gotten me something, but you didn't. Because you liked me when I was in a red suit. But that's not who I am.
Who's gonna wipe the blood off your hands? My hands. Prove it. I'm in the picture business.
Based on the true story of Hollywood's most notorious unsolved mystery.
I see the pieces, how they should fit, how I want them to fit.
Hollywoodland.
All right, Hollywoodland. What was your first impression when you saw the trailer, Joey?
Well, I'm never a huge fan of Ben Affleck, but he actually looks somewhat decent in this film.
Yeah, I really liked their choice to get Ben Affleck to play George Reeves. I think Ben Affleck's good roles are when he does those like supporting characters.
Right.
Like he is the main focus of the movie, but he's not the main focus of the movie. He's not the main character.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. You know, just like this movie reminds me a lot of From Hell.
Okay.
With Johnny Depp
Right.
and the whole Jack the Ripper series.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You don't know who he was, but in this movie they give a face to who Jack.
Right.
You know, in that movie they give a face to who Jack the Ripper was.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think in this movie it'll be a lot like From Hell in that sense where they'll give you reason or meaning behind it, you know. But
yeah, this movie also kind of goes back to the days of film noir and those old 50s black and white movies. So I think it could be really good. We haven't seen a movie like that in a while.
Hollywoodland, directed by Alan Coulter, starring Ben Affleck, Diane Lane, and Adrien Brody, is in theaters now.
Next up, we have a movie called The Prestige, a movie I'm really looking forward to seeing. It's directed by Christopher Nolan, and he re-teams with Batman Begins stars Christian Bale and Michael Caine. The movie also stars Scarlett Johansson and Hugh Jackman in a movie about two dueling magicians in turn-of-the-century London. Christopher Nolan, besides directing Batman Begins, also did Memento and Insomnia, so I'm really looking forward to see what he can do in this exciting and entertaining film.
Shoot me. Come on.
No, I can't shoot.
Do it!
How'd you like that?
How do you do it?
Magic.
I'll perform this feat in a manner never before seen by yourselves or any other audience anywhere in the world.
The audience loved it.
This trick is top-notch.
You need to celebrate.
A real magician tries to invent something new. It's something that other magicians will scratch their heads over.
I suppose you have such a trick.
Actually, I do. It's the one they're gonna remember me for.
What happened?
It was the greatest magic trick I've ever seen.
I need to know how he does it. He has no trick. It's real. Every great magic trick consists of 3 acts. The first act is called the pledge. The magician shows you something ordinary, but of course, it probably isn't. The second act is called the turn.
He's obsessed with discovering your method.
The magician makes this ordinary something do something extraordinary. Now you're looking for the secret, but you won't find it. That's why there's a third act called the prestige. This is the part with the twists and turns, where lives hang in the balance.
Julie, come on!
And you see something shocking you've never seen before. This was built by a man who can actually do what magicians pretend to do.
Real magic.
I know what you really are.
How does he do it?
You want the truth? Nothing is impossible.
Abracadabra.
No more secrets.
Secrets in my life.
All right, so let's talk about The Prestige. What'd you think of the trailer?
I gotta admit, I wasn't expecting much when I was gonna see the trailer. I was excited as to the people who were gonna be in the movie.
Yeah.
But if you just ask anybody about it and they tell you it's about 2 magicians,
yeah,
it's kind of like, okay,
yeah,
you know. But you watch it and it looks really, really, really gritty.
It's probably one of the best trailers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It just makes you want to watch it right now.
Right, exactly. The actors.
Right.
The actors that are in it they're some of the hottest up-and-coming, to me, actors today, you know? I mean, you got, like you said, Christian Bale from Batman. You have Hugh Jackman from the X-Men series. Scarlett Johansson from Match Point, which she was most recently noted for. And Michael Caine, who's also part of the up-and-coming Batman series now.
Yeah, this movie looks like it's really exciting. I think it's going to be I know it's going to be well directed. I hope it's well written. I'm really looking forward to it and all the twists and turns that it has.
The Prestige, directed by Christopher Nolan and starring Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, Scarlett Johansson, and Michael Caine, hits theaters October 20th, 2006. Our next movie we have up is a movie called The Black Dahlia. It stars Aaron Eckhart and Josh Hartnett. The story revolves around the brutal murder of a movie actress named Elizabeth Short and how the press and cops involved in the investigation are affected by it. The movie is directed by Brian De Palma, who has also directed Mission Impossible and Scarface. The movie is based off James Ellroy's novel of the same name. James Ellroy also wrote the novel L.A. Confidential, which was made into a big screen adaptation starring Kevin Spacey and Russell Crowe.
Great test, Elizabeth Short.
Don't walk out on me, Richard. Say you care, say
Miss
that
Short, this is a very sad scene. Do you think you're capable of playing sadness?
I can do that.
Her name was Elizabeth Short. She was young and beautiful, determined to be famous, but destined to be infamous.
Well, listen up. No reporters view the body.
The victim has been cut in half, all organs removed, blood drained from the body, and the mouth sliced ear to ear.
It was the most notorious murder in California history. To the public, it was a sensation.
This killer will be caught.
To us, it would become an obsession.
You gotta do something. He's been like this since last night.
From the corridors of power
What do I have to do to keep my name out of the papers?
to the filth of the gutters.
She looks like that dead girl. How sick are you?
Every life it touched, it consumed.
Elizabeth and I made love once. I just did it to see what it would be like with someone who looked like me.
I'm scared.
Nothing stays buried forever. Nothing.
Please say that you care, or say that you think that I'm beautiful.
This is another movie along the lines of Hollywoodland.
Another film noir.
Another film noir, right? But like it looks so good that like I wouldn't mind going to see these movies like back to back.
Yeah, I think these movies, although they look similar, there's enough differences that each one is going to stand on its own.
Right. And I'll be honest, I really am not a big fan of Josh Hartnett.
No.
He's, I mean, I'm not a big fan of his. The one scene I was a fan in is when he was in Sin City, in the opening.
The opening.
And then the ending.
The closing, yeah.
I thought he was perfect.
That was a great role for him.
It was like he was in the end.
It was short.
It was short, right? Not much. But when I watched this trailer, like, I like him in this movie.
He does.
And I know
he
you're
surprised me.
I know you're a big Aaron Eckhart fan.
Oh yeah.
And he just looks like he
I
fits
love
this
Aaron
movie.
Eckhart. Yeah, he's great. He was great in the movie Thank You for Smoking.
Now see, I didn't see that. I have to see that.
He played a sarcastic guy who's funny, smart. It was an intelligent film, and it really showcased his acting abilities.
Yeah.
The Black Dahlia, directed by Brian De Palma, starring Aaron Eckhart, Josh Hartnett, Hilary Swank, and Scarlett Johansson, hits theaters September 15th, 2006.
Making their writing and directorial debut to the big screen is Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor's film Crank. Now this movie looks like a high-intensity, fast-paced actioner and stars Jason Statham and Amy Smart. Jason Statham you might remember from The Italian Job and the Transporter films. I'm really excited to see what these two newbies can bring to the film, and we'll see what happens.
Again, another interesting storyline. The movie's about Jason Statham's character, and he's poisoned by some kind of Chinese synthetic where he has to keep his adrenaline up a certain number, and if he doesn't, he'll die. So that's this whole journey of the movie. So with that type of storyline, I'm hoping that the movie won't be 2 hours.
No, I don't think it needs to be that long.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it moves along enough and it has a good enough story and plot
to make up for the action.
Yeah,
because there's going to be a lot of action.
Oh, definitely.
Crank, directed by Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor, starring Jason Statham and Amy Smart, is in theaters now.
Our next movie we have up is Stranger Than Fiction, starring Will Ferrell and Dustin Hoffman. The movie centers around Will Ferrell's character trying to figure out why he can hear a narration of his life going on while it's actually happening. The movie was filmed here in Chicago and here on UIC campus last summer. The movie is directed by Mark Forster, who made headlines with his movie Monsters Ball, which starred Halle Berry and Billy Bob Thornton, Finding Neverland, which starred Johnny Depp, and Stay, which starred Ewan McGregor, Naomi Watts, and Ryan Gosling.
This doesn't look like the typical Will Ferrell comedy, so I'm expecting big things from him, because we've always seen him in this kind of, bumbling idiot kind of role, and here he really gets to play. He's still kind of an idiot, but at least it's not as bumbling as his characters have been
It seems to be an idiot with a purpose.
Right, yeah.
It's a definite change from like his recent release Talladega Nights, right? The racing movie, which I saw was excellent. It was hilarious, but this movie looks really, really funny. It has Emma Thompson in it, Queen Latifah, and Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman, any movie with him is automatically good.
Yeah.
He just brings so much to a movie that it's worth seeing just to have.
Yeah, he looks really good.
Stranger Than Fiction, directed by Mark Forrester, starring Will Ferrell, Dustin Hoffman, Emma Thompson, and Queen Latifah, hits theaters November 10th, 2006.
Next up is a movie called The Reaping, directed by Stephen Hopkins and starring Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank you might remember from movies like $1 Million Baby and Boys Don't Cry. Stephen Hopkins is most known for his producing the television hit series 24. And this movie, The Reaping, is a modern-day Bible story about the 10 biblical plagues in a small town in Louisiana. Let's check it out. So next up is The Reaping, man. What do you think?
I have no idea. I mean, it's an interesting concept, having the 10 plagues happen again, like in our time, in modern day time, you know. I'm almost kind of hoping this movie, when I watched the trailer, you know, the beginning part caught me, like I said, and then the end kind of let me down. But another movie that was like that was that movie, Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
Stephen King's movie.
Right. Yeah.
That movie to me was a total letdown.
Oh yeah. I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Oh my God! It was just like, you know, starts off so good.
It has a really good, like, initial idea.
Yeah, and then it just turns into this thing about aliens
coming out of who knows where.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah. Hilary Swank, good actress, very beautiful.
Actress, yep.
Another big. I don't think she's ever done like a movie like this. Like it was she's really stuck to her drama, and this is a drama, but it's more of like a horror, like you said, horror thriller, as it's been titled.
So she's definitely, I mean, she's got the skill.
Yeah.
For drama, so we'll just see how it can transfer over
to a horror film.
Right.
The Reaping, directed by Stephen Hopkins, starring Hilary Swank, hits theaters March 30th, 2007.
If you want to check any of these trailers out, go to www.apple.com/trailers or www.movies-list.com.
We're going to take a short break right now, but stick around for our movie spotlight, which is coming up next.
Welcome back. In keeping with our theme of summer, we have chosen 2 summer blockbusters for our spotlight movies. One a classic, the other destined to be one. Let's check it out.
My pick for this week is 2005's Batman Begins, directed by Christopher Nolan and starring Christian Bale. This movie literally brings the Dark Knight back to life after his death in 1997's bomb, Batman and Robin, with George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell. The casting of Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne Batman has to be the best casting move since Christopher Reeve was cast as Superman. Aside from Bale's casting as Batman, the supporting cast, which is a bunch of headliners, worked perfectly in the movie. Written by David S. Goyer and Christopher Nolan, the idea to do a reboot of the origin story was a smart play. In addition to doing a reboot of the origin story, they also give reason to why Bruce Wayne becomes Batman, how and where he learns to fight, and also answers the age-old question,
where do you get those wonderful toys?
I thought it was really good. When I first watched the movie, it was obviously a far cry from what the 1989 Tim Burton movie showed, where he's just automatically this like aristocratic type of person,
right.
But then the opening of this movie is he's a child. It's a flashback scene, but then he's in jail.
Yeah.
It was really like, oh my God, this is Bruce Wayne? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like he's in jail, he's getting beat up.
What is he doing here?
He's starting fights with people.
Rich.
Exactly.
Why is he in jail?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought from the beginning of that, I was like, this movie is gonna be.
It's not what you expect from a comic book movie.
Right. Exactly.
Because it makes the idea seem realistic and possible, and so it just adds that kind of that excitement to it.
I love Liam Neeson in the movie, but he was sinister.
He made me hate him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, obviously, you know, Batman has to make the movie. The guy who plays Batman,
right?
He's in the movie, but what also makes the movie is the villain. If you don't have a good villain,
you don't have a good movie.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know, lately, like, villains just are the movie. Like, I go to movies to see the villain.
Right. They're the most interesting part. They make you want to keep watching to see, you know, what happens to them.
Right.
Not necessarily the hero. You always know the hero's gonna come out on top. He's gonna save the day or something. But the villain, that's what you
want to see what steps he takes.
You want to see what happens. Yeah. You want to see what happens to him.
Right. The casting, like I said before in my description of it, was almost kind of like almost like Superman. You know, Superman had some pretty big names.
Right.
You had Gene Hackman, Marlon Brando as Jor-El.
Yeah.
That was pretty big.
That was huge.
You know? And so in this movie, like, I remember reading an interview with Christopher Nolan. He said he feels like Superman, that Batman should have the same treatment as Superman, you know?
Right.
Have all these big stars in it. Make it big. But even though they were a supporting cast. So Batman Begins, if you haven't seen it already, where have you been?
Check it out.
Go
rent it. Go buy it. My pick for this week is another Spielberg film because, well, let's face it, Steven Spielberg is great at making summer blockbusters. In 1975, he released a movie called Jaws, which you may have heard of. And in that summer, over 67 million Americans went to see this movie, making it the first ever summer blockbuster. Jaws tells the story of a small beach community in New England that's terrorized by a giant white shark. When a marine biologist, a town sheriff, and an experienced fisherman go out to hunt the shark, you have to ask the question, who's hunting whom? Jaws is based on the novel of the same name, which was written by Peter Benchley, who also wrote the screenplay, so you know that it's a faithful adaptation of the novel. Steven Spielberg does a great job conveying the terror and the fear that these characters feel in the movie. Costing only about $7 million to make, Jaws is a quintessential summer blockbuster, as it would go on to rake over $260 million in the US alone. It is a chilling, exciting, and even thrilling movie, so check it out. Although you'll have second thoughts about swimming in the ocean, I guarantee you won't have second thoughts about loving this movie. It'll leave you on the edge of your seat with your jaw dropped. Alright, so Jaws, what'd you think about it, Bobby?
Very classic. Good movie, suspense, the acting is really good. The shark, very believable. I don't think they got a real one, I'm not sure, but...
No, it was animatronic.
Yeah, it was really good. Richard Dreyfuss is pretty funny in it.
Oh yeah.
I like him.
He's good.
He was just recently in that movie Poseidon.
Right.
And that's, when I saw him in the preview, it reminded me of Jaws. It was like,
oh yeah.
If they get attacked by a shark or something, it's like...
that'll be it.
That's a classic Jaws.
It's
like
a Jaws sequel.
Right there. It was, yeah. The script was good. I really like that Peter Benchley wrote the screenplay and the script.
Yeah,
because, like you said,
I thought that made it like that much better.
Yeah.
Because if anybody else had written it, it would have lost that sense of that you cared about the characters, that you really hated the shark.
Right. It'd be one thing is like, could you imagine if Steven Spielberg made a movie about bear attacks? Called it Bear.
The bear.
The bear. The bears.
That would scare me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Mama, Papa, and Baby going wild.
Yeah, we might cut that conversation out of this.
Yeah. Go see the bears.
Woohoo! Now, one of the reasons I picked this movie is because obviously it coined the term summer blockbuster.
Right.
But it was 30 years ago, or it was 31 years ago from now, and it's interesting to see how summer blockbusters have evolved since then.
Yeah, no,
I mean, obviously
right.
Special effects are a big part of summer blockbusters. You always have name actors, usually a name director,
right?
And they usually make a lot of money. So this is pretty much all that is in a summer blockbuster. All right, now's a good time to go check your email, your Facebook, or MySpace. We're gonna take a short break. When we come back, we have the latest movie news and rumors.
Welcome back. Here are some of the newest rumors that are circling Hollywood right now.
Well, I told you guys we'd keep you updated on the status of Hostel 2, Eli Roth's sequel to his original horror flick. So here's some news regarding that. The original release date of January 5th of next year isn't really a reality in this film because of the amount of work that it would take to complete in that time. Eli Roth recently spoke to the magazine Bloody Disgusting and said that in order to have the film finished by that date, they'd have to work 7 days a week, almost around the clock. So Lionsgate and Screen Gems decided to push back the original release date so that Eli Roth could get in a quality film instead of a rushed one. That's all the news on that, and we'll keep you updated as soon as we hear more.
Big news coming out of Warner Bros. Studios as they have now officially cast the Joker in the upcoming sequel to the Batman Begins movie titled The Dark Knight. The Joker will be played by actor Heath Ledger, who's also starred in Brokeback Mountain and A Knight's Tale. Now I know what you're probably thinking, Heath Ledger, the Joker, doesn't kind of sync up, but I have faith in Christopher Nolan in his decision to cast Heath Ledger as the Joker. So when more news comes about as to casting details or how he might look or sound in the movie, we will definitely let you know.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. But let us know what you think. Shoot us an email over at htv33@uic.edu.
Or you can hit us up on Facebook and on MySpace.
I'm Joey Biggio.
And I'm Bobby Navia.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on another episode of The Couch.